So this is how you can run your entire interview process on Binary. So right now I have my hiring dashboard open, and if I click on any candidate, say this one, I'll see an interviews tab over here from where I can schedule interviews. And I'll just go ahead and click on the schedule interview button. The first thing I see is the name of the interview or the name of the calendar invite. I can of course edit this if I want, or I can just move forward. And then I choose the interviewer for this particular round. Let's say I want to choose myself as the interviewer, I can do that. Or if you're a recruiter, you can of course choose somebody else as the interviewer as well. And now comes the more interesting part, which is I can either decide to schedule the interview right now, right away, or I can also choose to send a booking link to the candidate. And if I go to this booking link option, you will notice that this is like a Calendly sort of a link that gets sent to the candidate. They see something like this at their end, and they can just choose a slot from my calendar. You will notice that my calendar is already connected here. I have set up some default availability. It already knows what slots are already booked on my calendar, so it won't show those slots on my booking link. And of course, multiple people from your company can just connect their own calendar so that when you're creating booking links, their availability is automatically taken care of. In this case, I'll just move forward with schedule now for now. And another interesting thing you'll notice is that I can choose to add a link to this calendar invite, which lets the interviewer see all the important details about this interview. So I can decide whether to show them candidate details. I can choose to add a feedback form to this link. So in this case, I have like a basic feedback form added to this particular interview where they're asked for an overall rating for the interview and some additional notes. I can create more complex interview forms as well, or feedback forms as well, where I can ask them to rate people on specific things or add specific comments. For now, I'll just move forward with our basic template. And I can also choose to decide whether I want to show them past interview feedbacks or not. If I turn this on, they'll be able to see it. If I turn this off, they won't. And that's it. I'll go ahead and create this interview right now. And there you go. It shows up over here. And if I go to my calendar now, I can see the interview created over here. And you will notice the smart link that I was talking about, where I can see the important details as an interviewer. If I click on the smart link, you'll notice that there's a feedback form that I can fill, or I can also just see the candidate details from over here. And once the interview is done, say just for testing purposes, let me add like a feedback note over here. It shows up like this. So if I go back to the candidate profile, I'll be able to see their interview feedback like this. It shows up with a rating. If there are multiple feedbacks, it also aggregates the overall rating and shows it up like this. And if I go back, you'll also notice that in the table, there's now an interviews column that has gotten added. So I can see all the people for whom an interview has already been taken. And I'll also see the aggregate, rating that that person has received across the interviews. And another thing to note is that all these calendar invites that get created, there's a two-way integration between Binary and Google Calendar. So what that means is that if there's any rescheduling or cancellation that happens from Google Calendar, it will automatically get updated to Binary. And vice versa. If you make any changes on Binary, it will automatically show up on Google Calendar. And one bonus tip is that our AI agent has context of the interview data. So you can use it to ask a bunch of interesting questions. For example, I can say, how many interviews has each interviewer taken for this role? And hopefully should be able to pull up that data pretty quickly. And here you go. So in this case, there's only one interview, but of course, if there were more, it would show you like a breakup for every single interviewer. And yeah, that's how interviews work on Binary.